welcome to workout number 3 of Basics for Beginners. I am Christy, I am your trainer, and we're going to do a full body workout today. So this is the first full body workout of this program. So far we've done, I think, core and legs. So we're going to start with bear crawls. I know the lighting's kind of weird, but I have a lot of trees above me, so it's just gonna look like I'm kind of covered in camouflage all the time. But that's where we're at today. So we're gonna start with bear crawls. So when you're doing a bear crawl, this is the basic position that you need to be in. Your knees are going to be hovering over the ground. So start out on all fours, make sure that your knees are directly underneath your hips, and you're going to pull up so that your knees are about 2 inches above the ground, hovering above the ground. Your core is pulled in nice and tight. I'm going to move my pad over here. Your core is pulled in nice and tight. And you want to make sure that your back is flat, so you're not arching your back, and you're also not up like this. You don't want your knees to be too high off the ground. You want your knees to be nice and close to the ground, like this. So you're really gonna feel this in your quadriceps, in your core, and in your arms, and in your shoulders. And then what you're gonna do is you're just going to move forward and back in this position. So left hand, right foot moves, right hand, left foot. Just like that, keeping your hips stable. Imagine that you're trying to balance a plate on your back as you're moving forward and back. So try to keep your back flat, try to keep your hips from moving up and down like this. You don't want like a cat movement, you don't want like that. Rather, you want just a very stable tabletop on your back, all right? Now, if you're a beginner and you find that that is too difficult for you, what I want you to do is I want you just to come up, go forward, and come down. And then come up again, come forward, and come down. So you're resting every time in between each movement. But I want you to be very, very careful as you come down that you're not slamming your knees into the ground, because obviously that's gonna hurt your knees. So make sure that you're being very, very gentle as you're crawling forward and crawling back, but give yourself a break in between each move. Now the reason I'm not telling you to crawl on your knees is because you can hurt your knees by crawling on your knees as an adult, and just on average, I wouldn't suggest that to the average person. So I want you to try to do it that way. Now, if that is still too difficult for you, what I want you to do for this move is to do a bird dog. So you're going to bring up one hand and one foot and try to reach them out as far as you can go. Now maybe for you, that's just pulling them up off the ground and putting them back, pulling up off the ground and putting it back. But I want you to try to reach out as you do it. And this is gonna work your core a lot. It's also gonna work your shoulders, and it'll work your quads just a little bit. So it's a very similar movement, but it's called the bird dog. It's not a bear crawl. But I want you to do that movement instead of the bear crawl if you find that that move is too challenging for you, because it is a very challenging move. I would say that it's an intermediate move, not a beginner move. I know this program is called Basics for Beginners, but a lot of people who are beginning are able. You might very well be able to do the bear crawl. You just need to try to find out. But again, do not feel bad if you cannot do that crawl. You just don't have the muscles there for it, and that's okay. A lot of people don't. Just do the bird dog instead, okay? So next, we're gonna do V-ups. So for the V-up, I'm gonna move this a little bit closer so you can see me a little bit better. For the V-up, you're gonna be laying on your side. You're gonna have your feet stacked. You're gonna have your upper body on the ground as well. And you're going to reach and touch your foot as you lift your legs to meet. So your legs are going up and your upper body is also going up at the same time to create a V. And you lift by squeezing your obliques. Your obliques are these muscles here on your side. They pull your waist in to support your spine, and also it's gonna pull your waist in so that you might look smaller, you might weigh the same, or look a little bit smaller because your muscles are holding your guts in, holding you together, right? So again, you're gonna lie down, you're gonna reach up and touch your toes, come back down. Now, this again is an intermediate move. On average, I think if you're a beginner that you could do it, but if you find that after 3 or 4 reps, you can't do it, you're straining, this is what I want you to do instead. Instead, I want you to lift your body off the ground and come back down. So don't lift your legs, keep your legs stacked, bend them just a little bit to give you some stability. Put this arm out to the side. I want you to lift up and down, up and down, just like that. So you're doing a side crunch, okay? But I want you to try to do at least 1 rep of the V up. And then if you find that you can't do it, I want you to do just the side crunch V up, okay? So you're going to do bear crawls, and then you're going to do V-ups on both sides. So you're going to do V-ups for 30 seconds on one side, and then 30 seconds on the other side. Next, we're going to do a plank toe touch. This is what it looks like. You're going to be in a plank, and you're going to walk your hands back, 1, 2, touch, come back forward. Then you're going to come back again, 1, 2, and touch with the other hand, come back forward. Now, this is a really hard core move. I really want you to clench your abs, pull your belly button to spine, and I want you to make sure that you're really engaging those abs. That means clenching your abs as you're going up and down. This is going to protect your back, and it's also protecting your core muscles. If you're not engaging your core muscles, you're creating an internal pressure that's pushing against your muscles, and what it can do is it can pull these muscles apart because they are connected with a connective tissue. So you're not tearing the actual muscles, you're tearing the connective tissue, which is actually relatively weak. And often women, after we have babies, or even weightlifters, if he or she is lifting super heavy weight, they're using their internal pressure. It's going to create internal pressure, and it can bring those muscles apart, and you'll get a little gap here in between your abdominal muscles. So I want you to try to prevent that by pulling your belly button to spine and engaging those muscles so that they're pulling together, so that you're not pulling apart, you're pulling your muscles together, keeping them strong, okay? So we're gonna do the plank toe touch again. Make sure your core is engaged, you're not sagging your hips. When in doubt, if you feel like you're not sure if you're sagging your hips, it's always better to put your hips up just a little bit. The higher your hips are, you'll be engaging your core less, but it's better for you to get a little bit less of an ab workout than to hurt your back by sagging your hips. So when in doubt, just put your hips up in the air just a little bit, but do try to keep your back flat. Try not to put your hips up in the air, but again, when in doubt, just put them up a little bit. It'll be okay. So anyway, so again, you're going 1, 2, touch, coming back forward, and then 1, 2, touch, coming back forward. Now again, this is more of an intermediate move. If this is too difficult for you, what I want you to do is to get on your knees, and I want you to walk back and walk forward. And when you come forward, I want you to pull your body into a straight line. So not sagging your hips, but again, pulling your body into a straight line so that you can feel your core engage. And then I want you to walk back. And if you feel like it, you can tap your knee when you come back, and then you come back again. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more difficult, but you still feel like this plank is a little too hard for you, then what I want you to do is to touch your leg first. This is going to put you off balance. This is going to make all of your weight go to this side. I want you to touch your leg and then go back, and then go back forward, and then touch your leg. So the difference here between this one is you're touching your leg while you're outstretched. Touch your leg, and then you move back, and then come back forward. Touch your leg, come back. Because when you're up in the plank, this might get confusing. If you're up in the plank, you're going back first and then touching your leg. But with this, with a modified move, you're gonna touch your leg first and then go back. Back forward, okay? So you're gonna do that for 30 seconds. Then we're gonna do high knees. High knees are like this. You're bringing your legs up, you're switching like this. So it's like you're running, but as you're running, you're driving your knees up. And what this is doing is this is engaging your core more than normal running. Running on its own engages your core, but this is going to engage your core more because you're having to pull that leg up into your, up to your chest. And try to drive your knees as high as they'll go, and try to move them at a quick pace. So you're throwing those knees up into the air. But I want you to be careful with this move. Again, if you feel like that's too much for you, if you feel like it's gonna hurt your knees, because you are using a lot of impact here, I want you just to step one at a time, one foot always on the ground, stepping, driving that knee up. And as always, if you feel the need, hold on to something as you drive those knees up to keep yourself from losing your balance and getting an injury, because that's not what we want. For this exercise, we're going to do it for a minute because I want to get your breath going. I want to get your cardio up. I want to get your heart rate up, because if you are working your muscles and also cardio at the same time, in my opinion, you're going to get the most benefit from your workout as opposed to doing cardio one day and weights the next. And again, I'm talking about for the kind of body I want. I want a lean, strong body. I don't need huge muscles. I don't need to be super skinny. I just want to be lean and be strong. And in my opinion, for me personally, this has worked with mixing cardio with strength to get the body that I have today. And then the last move is a get up. So it's basically the opposite of a burpee. With a burpee, you're going down and getting up. Forward, you're going down forward. With a get up, you're going down backwards. So you're gonna sit down, lay down, then you're gonna bring your feet up, you're gonna sit up, and then you're gonna push off from behind and stand up. And you're gonna get back down, lay down, extend your legs all the way out, reach up above you, and then come back and do it again. Push off, stand up. Really squeeze your glutes as you stand up. So this is just a functional move. It's a movement that you need to be able to do to live everyday life in a healthy way. Something that helps a lot with getting up for me is crossing my legs as I stand up. So when you lay down, when you bring your feet up, cross your legs, and this is gonna really help you to, you don't even need an assist a lot of the time to be able to stand up, uncross your legs, get back into position, and do it again. Sit down, and then just cross them in the other direction so both your legs get worked evenly. Stand up, uncross your legs, do it again. Now, if this is too difficult for you, what I want you to do is to have a couch or a chair nearby and to use that to help you get up. So this is what I mean by that. As you sit down, hold on to the couch to help you sit down. Then I want you to lay down. Then as you sit up, you can grab that chair or that couch again to help you stand up, just like that. If that is still too difficult for you, I want you to just sit down on a chair, let your weight go, fully relax, then engage your core again, engage your glutes, and stand up, okay? As you're getting up and getting down, make sure that you're engaging your core. As you sit down, engage your core. Maybe use your hands to help you sit down without jarring your body. Then I want you to engage your core as you lay back down and as you put your legs out. Then I want you to engage your core as you pull yourself up into that sit-up. And then as you're standing up, drive through your legs and do it all over again, right? So make sure your core is engaged, your legs are engaged. This is gonna keep your spine safe, your spine and back healthy. This is gonna keep your posture and your form correct if your core is engaged. So when in doubt, engage your core. That is the full workout. You're going to do every exercise for 30 seconds, except for the high knees. And for the high knees, you're gonna do them for an entire minute. And then you're going to repeat this 3 to 4 times. If you're a beginner, do it 3 times. If you're intermediate or advanced, do it 4 times. That is the whole workout. I love full body workouts. I just feel like it gets everything working. I hope you're having a great day. Don't forget to stay strong, stay disciplined, and be kind. I hope you have an awesome day.